Lou Diamond's music.
A quick look at the lineups before we get started in Los Angeles. The Pacers, one of the more veteran teams in the league. As we look at their starting five, Dale Davis, in his 8th year out of Clemson, is the junior member of this group. Mullen's been around for 14 years. Smith's the center for 11. Mark Jackson in his 12th year. Also a dozen years in the league for Reggie Miller. Larry Bird, the NBA's Coach of the Year, as his team improved from 39 regular season wins to 58 in his first year at the helm. For the Lakers, Kobe averaging 21 and 10 as the starting small forward through the first 5 games. Shaq back in. Travis Knight at a forward spot for Robert Horry, who's out with indigestion problem that sent him to the hospital. And you saw their backcourt for Del Harris, who's in the final year of his Laker contract. The officials are Dick Bavetta, Joe DeRosa, and Kevin Fields.
Bob, one thing to watch early, Indiana does not like to double the post. You know the Lakers are going to Shaq. They've got to protect Rick Smith. If he gets an early foul, they'll have to take him off of him. But we need to watch the post game and the post defense of the Pacers today.
The tip to the Lakers, who won both meetings with the Pacers a year ago. And in one of those games, Smits managed to play just 15 minutes because of foul trouble. Shaq takes him to the hole and misses. Gets his own. Loose ball. And it will still belong to the Lakers.
The Pacers must rebound the basketball. They cannot give the Lakers multiple shots.
A year ago, despite their success in terms of wins and losses, they were one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. Same is true this year so far. Fisher lost it. Smits couldn't pick it up, but finally Davis does. Dale Davis inside against Knight.
Now the Pacers will run on occasion, and what they really like to do is spot up and shoot and have Mullen and Miller look for early threes. That time, Dale Davis just ran right to the front of the rim.
Miller cuts in front for the steal. And the Pacers jump to a 4-0 lead. Mullen is on Jones. Drives past him. Smits cuts him off and fouls him.
That's where we talk about speed on that play right there by Eddie Jones, but the steal by Reggie Miller, the overplay. And when you're struggling, as Reggie does here in the form in his pass, what you like to be able to do is get some layups. What that'll do is open up his outside jump shooting, but a good start here defensively for the Indiana Pacers.
Eddie Jones shot 3 for 22 combined in the first 2 games of the year. Then put up 21 points back-to-back at San Antonio and Denver before shooting 2 for 8 at Minnesota on Thursday. So very inconsistent thus far.
Well, he's got to use his speed against Chris Mullen. This is what he did on the first possession.
Smits. Off to Jackson. 8 on the shot clock as Mark drives and lobs one up for Dale Davis.
Again, that screen roll hurt the Lakers. Mark Jackson took it all the way in. Dale Davis's man had to step up. The little alley-oop and the nice finish by Davis.
6-2 Indiana. Bryant. Mullen fouled him.
Mark Jackson probably throws his pass as well as anybody in the NBA. He gets into the lane, just tosses it up, and then Dale Davis with a nice soft finish.
Laker ball from the side. Mullen trying to contend with Bryant. No way he can stand it. He gets some quickness. And Kobe sticks the jumper.
Bob, that's what I talked about in the opening. Speed really hurts this Pacer team. They're probably the slowest elite team in the league.
Smits. And Travis Knight claims it. Bryant. Cross court to Fisher for three. Knight trying to keep it alive. Out of bounds to the Pacers. Mark Jackson dealing to Mullen. Fade away, blocked by Bryant. Fisher brings it back. Kobe around Shaq's screen. Fisher looking for help. 5 seconds to shoot. Shaq with the hook.
You can see already, Bob, they've made the defensive switch. With Smits picking up a foul, they've moved Dale Davis. He's a power forward now trying to guard Shaq. That is a mismatch.
Through 4 games, Shaq was averaging 30.5 points and 12.5 rebounds.
You're going to see the interior position of Shaquille O'Neal. He just takes his time. You see no double team, backs him down, gets his rhythm, the little jump hook. That will be there all day if Indiana does not give help in the post.
Jackson behind the back flip for Davis. The last foul was on Bryant, his first. Miller fires a three. And Kobe grabs the rebound. All the way to the hoop. Mullen knocked it away, no foul. Back comes Jackson. Smits around Knight with the reverse.
So Rick Smits did a nice job there running the floor. Realized Shaquille never got over half court. Went right to the front of the rim. Mark Jackson, great play there on the break.
Pacers lead at 8-6. Davis on Shaq. And despite the double team as Jackson came over, Shaq scores again.
Well, what their philosophy is, Bob, is he starts to back down. Indiana will dig back in there, but they do not make a commitment into a hard double team this early in the game.
And a whistle from Dick Bavetta. May have been an illegal defense call.
That's a foul actually on Travis Knight. They ran a cross screen there, Bob, and he just got his arms up in Rick Smits' face and really took a hard foul. Smits did not like that.
Foul on Knight is his first. Fisher on Jackson.
Now he wants you to double team. The Lakers are going to make him try to score.
He doesn't, but he's fouled. He likes to back his man down using his strength. And if the double comes to him, then he'll pitch it back out. And often Mullen or Miller is positioned behind the three-point line to take advantage.
Absolutely. That's the good shooting that they have, the Pacers. So much of it is created by the play of Mark Jackson in the post. What they do is they dive Dale Davis to the front of the rim out of the double team and then spot up 3 very good shooters.
Log on to MSNBCSports.com for in-depth NBA coverage. Bill Walton is there with analysis and commentary. Plus, you can email him your questions and vote on which team will win the title. 1 of 2, making it 9-8, Indiana. Knight open from 20. Jackson grabs it. Pacers look to run. He whips a pass to Davis. And Shaq is there. Miller's got Jones. Shaq takes it, spins into the lane, and misses. And Smits is there to pick it up. Miller, pull up 3. He was fouled, it goes down, and it's a 4-point possibility.
That's what you have to really prepare against when you play Indiana. They love to shoot quick threes in the secondary part of their fast break. Mullen and Miller specifically. Now Reggie loves to kick that leg out. We'll see him come down and he pulls up. As he shoots his ball, he sort of kicks that right leg out. I'm not so sure that couldn't have been an offensive foul. Watch his right leg now, Bob. Really, he's going to kick that leg out and create contact. You have to stay within the plane of your body when you shoot that shot. You kick that leg out, it can be an offensive foul.
3-point play. Foul on Eddie Jones was his first. Indiana by 5. And the Lakers ask for time with 7:07 to play in the first.
Bob, I think when you look at the fast break points, the plan right now for Indiana is watching is Shaquille is struggling getting back on defense, so the big guys are really running out to give them numbers. And you can see the fast break points here from the Lakers on the season. This is supposed to be a team that wants to run. Early in the year, they have not been able to establish that in their game on a consistent basis.
Del Harris telling us yesterday how much he wants his team to run, how he's encouraging them to do it. A little fadeaway by Eddie Jones isn't there, and Jackson claims the rebound. Smits guarded by Knight. Misses and Knight takes it. Shaq muscles.
He just absolutely puts that left shoulder into you. You tell your big guy, hold your ground. There's absolutely no way you can. This man is 335 pounds playing with that kind of force.
He scored 6. And a whistle at the other end. An offensive foul on Dale Davis.
Bob, check the power now of Shaquille O'Neal. Now, Dale Davis is a strong man, and he just bumps him and locks him on his heels. And there's no way he can recover and make the second effort. Shaq with a powerful finish.
Not out of the question that Shaq could win the scoring title, the rebounding title, be the MVP, and lead the Lakers to the championship. Somehow that didn't fall. Shaq is coming to the line.
See, if they give this to Smits, that will be his second. Mark Jackson tried to raise his hand, and they gave it to Mark Jackson. But here's the give and go, and Shaq extends. Pacers very fortunate there that they did not give that foul to Smits. That would be his second, and he would have to sit down here early in this game. They need a scoring.
Of course, the problem with the list of possible achievements I just gave you is that that's what some people expect of Shaq. And anything short of that will be deemed a failure.
Absolutely, because that's the respect that the people have for his game as he walks up and he makes both free throws.
He's a career 54% free throw shooter who has shown some signs early this year of improving on that a bit.
Travis Knight is now playing Rick Smith, so he can take his time in the post and shoot over him. He does not have to be in a hurry.
Mullen, height advantage on Fisher, slapped away by Bryant, and a Laker foul. It's Kobe, his second.
Now, Kobe has gotten off to such a great start, Bob, and we threw his numbers out to start the game, and they were basically points and rebounds. I really think he's improved defensively. He's making a great effort to guard people. And you get he and Eddie Jones guarding on the perimeter. They could be a dynamic duo out there on the wing.
The Lakers, number 17,
Rick Fox and Derek Harper come in. Bryant and Fisher go out. Harper, the veteran, at age 37 in his 16th year, has actually played more minutes off the bench at point guard than has the starter Derek Fisher, who has struggled early. Mullen, who led the league last year with 94% from the line, makes them both. Pacers by 3. Shaq again. Little hook. Double figures already with 10. Fox over on Jackson. Mullen deals to Davis. And Knight comes away with it. Jones, quick jumper.
Bob, the one thing I've noticed about Eddie Jones, when he gets himself planted and gets square to the target, he shoots a high percentage. When he gets himself sort of corkscrewed on that shot and takes tough shots, his percentage goes way down.
The 3 out of the corner gives the Lakers a 2-point lead. Miller trying to work on Kobe. Baseline jumper. Spins out. Smits with the tip.
It's a welcome sight for the Pacers. An offensive rebound for a score, something they don't get very much of.
Rick Fox into the lane. Now O'Neal with the spin move. Got it back. Little jumper. Good. He's got a dozen.
He is so quick to go back after his own misses. I think when he shoots the ball, the guy who's guarding his box has to give himself up and just keep Shaq away from the boards the best way he can.
Dale Davis out to Mullen. His three won't go. Chased to the side and recovered by Davis. Mullen again. And this one is there.
That's 2 straight offensive rebounds for the Pacers. One of the areas they've really tried to improve on that's given them 5 points.
Shaq, wild shot, and Davis rebounds. Mullen doubled in the corner. Little flip to Smits, and now Davis blocked by Eddie Jones, but a foul.
That's a great look by Rick Smits. He had the wide open shot, and at the last moment, the big man finds his partner underneath the basket, Dale Davis. But very good court awareness here. Here's your big center. He looks like he's got the shot. The last moment, the drop down. And Dale Davis will go to the line. And, Bob, this is an area that the Pacers really need him to improve on. They need to be able to play him in the last 6 minutes of the game. And to do that, he has got to be a better free throw shooter than what he's been in the past.
Well, he's been in the league 8 years, and he's a career 50% free throw shooter. Makes the first. For the sake of comparison, for his career, Wilt Chamberlain was 51%. Shaq is 54%. Obviously, he has a better field goal percentage, speaking of Davis, than he does a free throw percentage.
Well, really, it comes down to a mental thing, because in the preseason, he had all 6 of his free throws. And I talked to Dick Harder yesterday, the assistant coach. He said he walked up to the line, the first free throw he shot in regular season, and missed it. It's almost like it counts now, and he started thinking about it.
Well, he made them both this time. Derek Harper left alone. Shaq trying to follow and can't. Antonio Davis just rips the ball away, and then a jump ball is called. Indiana asked for time. 2:58 to play in the first. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Fast-paced first quarter. Indy leads it by 3. Each of these teams 3-2 after the first 5 games of the abbreviated season.
You see, Bob, the package of Shaquille O'Neal. Against Rick Smits, he has to shoot the ball a little higher, a bigger man. Smits picks up a foul. They go to Dale Davis, to the power forward. Shaq has his way. He's just too big and strong. You see him carrying himself to the basket. Shaq 5 out of 10 here in the first quarter, all in the paint for 12 points. Question is, now remember, Bob, when we were in here last week against Utah, he expended so much energy early, he sort of ran out of gas. We'll have to watch that today. Dale's going to have to give him some rest.
And Eldon Campbell is in with Shaq on the bench as we resume, and the Lakers win the tip between Knight and Davis. Here is Rick Fox against Mullen, spins around him, and Chris fouled him.
Foul number 17, Chris Mullen. Second personal. 4th team foul.
Early numbers on Shaq. Chris Mullen now goes out after committing his second foul, replaced by the second-year player from Providence, 6'9" Austin Crozier, who wears number 44. Loose ball taken by Antonio Davis as the Lakers lose it. Jackson against Fisher. Backing him down into the lane. Dealing back outside for Reggie's 3. That went according to plan, except the shot didn't drop. And a whistle as Harper worked against Mark Jackson. Foul was away from the ball, and it's on Antonio Davis. That's his first.
Eldon Campbell with the line for the Lakers, 1+1.
Eldon Campbell just into the game, goes to the line. Last year in 15 straight starts when Shaq was hurt, he averaged 18 points and 8 rebounds. It's the first. Tonight on NBC after the game, Dateline looks at the danger of extreme skiing and the power of pro wrestling. And the dramatic new NBC miniseries To Serve and Protect after Dateline tonight on NBC.
You can see Larry Bird now has gone to his bench. Mark Jackson, Reggie Miller, the backcourt still intact. An entire new front line. Indiana really counts on their bench to do well. We'll see what their production is today.
Sam Perkins, 15-year veteran, former Laker, in the lineup now for Indiana, number 14. Reggie Miller, quick catch and shoot off the back iron. Volleyballed around and the Pacers have it. Out of the corner, Crozier misses the 3. Rebounded Travis Knight. A minute and a half to play in the first quarter. Pacers by 1. Rick Fox can't give the Lakers the lead. Crozier. Reggie Miller to Perkins, working against Knight. Spin move off the glass, blocked by Campbell, goaltending.
Well, it wasn't quick, but Sam Perkins finally got to the basket. He comes across the middle, he's a lefty, and he spins back up and under Travis Knight, and you see Campbell coming over with the block. It was called goaltending, so 2 points there for Sam Perkins.
Sam was with the Lakers in the early 90s, on the team that lost to the Bulls in the finals in 1991.
In fact, if you remember in that series in game 1, he hit the 3-point shot late that won the only game the Lakers won in that series.
Rick Fox to the hoop. And the Lakers back to within 1 in the closing minute of the quarter. Jackson, how many times have we seen this? Backs Fisher into the lane. Little baby hook. And it drops for him.
Bobby, he started to pass that ball at the last moment.
Harper gets back, gives it to Fox. Indiana was very slow to regroup defensively, and the Lakers took advantage.
Well, it's what we talked about. Speed hurts this team. If you look at the Pacer team right now, no foot speed out there on the floor. The Lakers should try to capitalize that every time down.
Out of the corner, Crozier. The 3 rattles out. 3 seconds to get off a shot. Fisher from beyond half court. And the first period is history with the Pacers up by 1. Shaq played 9 minutes of the first 12 and scored 12. Back to the Forum in a moment. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Watching the NBA on NBC.
Last year, the Lakers led the league in scoring, averaging 105 a game. Doug, in 1993, there were just 27 teams in the league. 25 of them averaged 100 or better. Last year, 4 of 29 teams averaged 100 or better.
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. First of all, the emphasis on defense by coaches. Secondly, the illegal defense and the way the game is played very slow now, and you're not getting any fast breaks, and shooting is way down. All those combinations mean less points.
Travis Best just in, misses his first shot. Shaq back in, takes the rebound. Harper's pass goes awry, and Indiana gets it back. Thus far, through 5 or 6 games for most teams in the league, nobody is averaging as much as 100. Part of that, though, rusty shooting.
Absolutely. Shooting is way, way down. You expect that to pick up as guys start getting their legs.
Best comes out shooting, misses his first 2. Antonio Davis with an emphatic follow.
That's 7 points now I know that Indiana has on the offensive backboard. That's key for this team to be able to pick up their offensive production and keep the Lakers from running.
Perkins now on Shaq. Misses the bank. And Sam has the rebound. Jalen Rose to Antonio Davis. Rose with the jumper. Misses it over Kobe, and Shaq has the rebound. The second unit for Indiana is a younger and quicker team, even with the veteran Sam Perkins in there. They can run a bit more than their starters do. Jalen Rose almost has a steal. Kobe recovers, and Fox can't finish. Out of bounds for the Pacers.
What you've seen early in the year with Indiana, Jalen Rose has handled the ball a lot more as a point guard with this second unit. They've made Best more of a scorer. They've taken the ball out of his hands and allowing Rose to create a little bit more. Larry said, I'll have to wait and see how what happens with that. Right now it has mixed reviews.
Isn't that strange? 6'8" point guard, 5'11" shooting guard, and Travis Best. Here's Crozier on the move. In between Fox and O'Neal, and one of them fouled him.
See, I like that time. Crozier realizing that the last 3 possessions, the Pacers have settled for quick outside jump shots. You drive the ball in there, put the pressure on the defense. They're the #1 free throw shooting team in the NBA. Get to the line, take advantage of your strengths.
As a team, the Pacers are hitting around 80%. Of course, guys like Mullen and Miller are nearly automatic.
Yeah, I always said that the good free throw shooting teams are the ones who get their best free throw shooters there more often than their bad ones.
Pacers lead it by 5. Well, if you take Shaq's massive number of attempts out, the Lakers aren't that bad as a team. But Shaq shoots many of them. Somebody got a piece of the ball. It was a little Travis Best. But Shaq is so strong, it didn't interrupt him. He just took it right up and put it in.
He didn't even realize that Travis Best had touched the ball, and Travis Best is a strong little player.
Like a gnat on an elephant. Three seconds to shoot. Sam Perkins has it stripped away. Here comes Shaq with the dribble to the front court. Lays it off for Harper. But a very brave soul named Travis Best took a charge from Shaquille O'Neal.
You love the passion, you love the energy, but he's got to get that ball to his point guard and let him be the finisher.
Ahmad Rashad back at the Forum, and here at the Forum there always are a lot of big stars, but no bigger star than my man Irvin Magic Johnson. It's always good to see you.
You too.
Now, I got to ask you about this Dennis Rodman thing. That's been the big talk around town the last couple of weeks. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, we would like to have Dennis. He would add a lot to our team, but we will hope that we get this thing over with one way or another, hopefully tomorrow or the next day, because it's not good for our team. It's not good for Dennis. And so let's get it over with, either come or don't come. We want to have him. I think he wants to be here, but let's put an end to it because it's a short season. We've got to get him in shape. We've got to get him to know the players, and I think it'll be good for him.
You know better than anybody else about leadership. Do you think a player like Dennis can come here on this young team and be able to fit in?
If he does his job on the court, just give us a 10, 15, 18 rebounds a game. All the other stuff, that's Dennis. We can deal with that. But I think that if he doesn't provide that, then we'll be quick to say, hey, enough is enough. We can let him go. But we've taken chances on players before, and they worked out. And Jerry West and Dr. Buss wouldn't have him here if they didn't think he would work out and fit into our system.
All right, one of the great matchups of all time is you against Larry Bird. Neither one of y'all are playing today, but after the game, I was thinking maybe one-on-one between the two of you.
Please flash back about 10 years, then we can go at it. But right now, I think Larry's back is too bad. I'm still in shape, so it wouldn't be a fair contest.
All right, back to you, Bob.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Thanks, Magic. Just about exactly 20 years ago that they met on the court for the first time in that NCAA final game between Michigan State and Indiana State, March of '79. Here's Jalen Rose. The jump hook is good.
See, he's such a multi-purpose player. He's big enough to post up. He can handle the ball. He can break down a defense. He can make the outside shots. That's why they need Bob, for him to be very consistent. Can't be up and down this year.
Kobe around Rose, bumped by Davis for a foul.
Foul number 33, Antonio Davis.
Antonio Davis nailed with his second.
Kobe Bryant with 2 shots.
Kobe Bryant to the line. So far this year, he's made 23 of 27 at the stripe. He's had a double-double in all 5 games. Rick Fox was hurt at the start of the year. Kobe became the starting small forward. And as Del Harris told us yesterday, he answered the whole question for me. There's no longer any question. He's a starter. Last year, he averaged more points than any reserve in the league as he played off the bench. Bryant guarding Jalen Rose. Tough shot, and Kobe got a piece of it. Eddie Jones thought about a 3. This is a 2-point basket. He was just inside the line.
See, what I like what Kobe Bryant did on the last possession. Jalen Rose, possession before, backs him down and scores. That time he takes the challenge and blocks the shot. That's the defensive maturity of Bryant during the course of his 2 seasons in the league.
Travis Best, so quick. Dumps it off to Antonio Davis. Man, he just exploded on that penetration on Best.
That's what breaks defenses down. Anytime you get in the lane like that, you make teams make decisions. Those are very high percentage shots when you can drop off for dunks.
Harper from Knight. And he traveled as he made his move. Big contrast between the point guards when, in fact, Best is playing the point. It's all quickness with him. With Mark Jackson, he's pounding the ball into the floor, backing you down low, looking to either take you one-on-one if they don't double or dish it back out.
I agree. And what you did, it's almost 2 different teams that you face when you face the Pacers. Their second team's a speed team. Their first team's a slower, better shooting team. And so you get 2 different looks at the same team.
Harper hit with a foul. That's his first. 6:57 to play in the half. Pacers by 3. We've already checked the Laker and Pacer lineups. This being Los Angeles, though, the celebrity lineup includes Diane Cannon, Gary Shanley, Lisa Leslie of the LA Sparks of the WNBA, John Lovitz on hand, and the perennial Jack Nicholson.
Bob, when you look at stats early in this game, the Lakers are up 17-11 on the boards, but one of the things the Pacers have done, they've really taken care of the ball today. They only have 2 turnovers, and Rick Smith only 1 foul. That's going to be crucial if they can pull this game out in the second half.
Sam Perkins into the lane on Travis Knight. A whistle as he released the shot, and a Laker foul. It'll be on Knight. It'll be his second.
Sam Perkins, you can see, really is not in the kind of shape he's going to need to be in for this team to do well. They really could count on him being able to hit that 3-point shot. Going into today's game, 0 for 5. He missed 1 today, so has not really been able to cash in on that long specialty he was known for in Seattle.
Knight, meanwhile, getting a lot of time in this first half. Robert Horry, who had been starting, had a case of indigestion, went to the hospital to be examined. Kobe skying for the rebound and contact with Crozier as he tries to come out of the backcourt. And Crozier of the Pacers is hit with a foul. Kobe has been averaging 18 shots a game, by the way, through 5 games. He's attempted only 2 shots today.
Well, it looked like they really tried to get Shaq involved early in this game. He took 10 field goal attempts himself in that first quarter, and here they are right back after him with Sam Perkins.
Triple teamed and fouled.
Shaq had about 4 guys around him on that possession. You could see Indiana, as he was backing down, really going back to dig in there. He's also going to have to be able to kick that ball out. So he's going to have to be able to be aware of when he needs to muscle that ball to the basket and when to kick that ball out to open shooters just to keep the defense honest.
A full weekend of NBA action tips off with a special edition of Showtime next Saturday at 3 Eastern. Then most of you will see Scottie Pippen, Akeem Olajuwon on the Rockets taking on Tim Hardaway, Alonzo Mourning in the Heat. Others will see a Western Conference matchup between the Sonics and the Jazz. Meanwhile, the Lakers take it back. And it's Eddie Jones in control. Here's Shaq inside. Missing. And
See, Travis Knight or the power forward, whoever's going to be opposite Shaq, If he'll go to the boards, he's going to get so many opportunities because people come over to help on block shots.
Best kicks it out to Rose, and a traveling call.
I just bragged about their lack of turnovers. 2 straight possessions, they've turned the ball over. And, Bob, if they're going to get mashed on the boards, they've got to take care of the ball. That's what was keeping them in the lead here early in this game.
Travis Knight, who got his first basket on the tip-in a moment ago that tied the game at 34, has, more importantly, 8 rebounds. Kobe Bryant on the run and off the glass.
You can tell this is a kid who loves to be in the gym playing basketball. He's a shot maker, Bob. He goes back to he's a creator, but when he gets in there, he squares his shoulders, uses the glass beautifully, and his passion for the game is really showing here early in this season.
6 for Kobe. Lakers on a 9-2 run to take the lead at 36-34. He's in his 3rd year in the league. Remember, though, he's still only 20 years old. And as you well know, you're watching the NBA on NBC. Del Harris's team on a 9-2 run to take a 2-point lead midway through the 2nd quarter. Doug, Rick Smits has only 1 foul, yet he's played only 9 out of the 19 minutes so far.
Well, I think you see Larry Bird has come back with him now, and I think he really tries to spot his minutes. We know about his bad feet, and he doesn't want to pound him down here early in this season, but Rick Smits got off to a pretty good start. They're going to need him to make some shots, and with Shaq guarding him, he can roll out and hit that open jump shot. Let's see if they go to that off a high screen roll.
Travis Best, water bug quick. Guarded by 37-year-old Derek Harper. Fires a 3 over him, and it's clean as a whistle. The Pacers reclaim the lead on that one. Shaq with his back to Perkins. Deals it out to Harper. He with a 3-point bomb of his own.
That was what I was talking about the last time Shaq wheeled in there and had 4 guys on him. That time he trusted his teammate Bobby, kicked it out, and Harper buried the 3. Good inside-out basketball.
Jalen Rose catch and shoot from Best. Tied at 39. Harper. Knight's all alone. Hesitated. Had an open shot. Didn't take it. Eddie Jones will. The 3 is short, but it comes to Shaq. Harper. Returns it low to O'Neal. Triple team. Scores it. Plus the foul.
Great patience by Shaquille O'Neal. The previous possession, he feels the defense. Best helps. He kicks it out to Harper, working in behind his vision, and he makes the open 3. Then the good patience. Inside, outside, back in once again. Shaq taking his time and just overpowering inside. Best from behind hits him. Not enough to disturb Shaquille O'Neal with that power move.
The foul is charged to Perkins. Shaq can't complete the 3-point play. He has 17 points and 8 rebounds with just inside 4 minutes to play until halftime. Smits, hook over Shaq. He actually has the height advantage at 7-4 to 7-1.
Make Shaq play on both ends of the floor. That's what the Pacers did. Don't let him rest on defense.
Kobe around Jalen Rose. Smits hit him, and Bryant will come to the line.
How about the ability to hang in the air and actually be on the way down and then get the foul and be able to continue up and get the shot? That was a spectacular play that's going to result in 2 free throws.
The foul on Smits was his 2nd. Coming up Thursday on NBC.
NBC Thursday, the night America's been waiting for. The Destiny of Dr. Ross. All new ER, NBC Thursday.
Kobe made the 1st. He missed the 2nd. Lakers by 1.
Go right back into Smits. He's got Travis Knight. He's got the advantage. Take your time. You can get that shot.
Puts it on the floor as he goes around him and draws the foul.
It's good defense. You go back until the team can stop it. Excuse me, good offense. First time the little jump hook, they switch Knight over on him. He squares him up, fakes the jump shot, and it wasn't quick, but it was effective. He gets in the lane, and he gets the foul.
Travis Knight in his 3rd year in the league, out of UConn. Last year with the Celtics, of course. Coming for Smits. When you think about the Pacers as a poor rebounding team, down near the bottom of the league rankings the last few years, Smits, despite being 7'4", only averages about a half dozen rebounds a game. Chris Mullin gets fewer rebounds than any starting forward in the league, and although Reggie Miller is 6'7", he's not really a big rebounder for a guard, or from that guard position.
Well, you know, Bob, they play so much with the spacing on the floor. Mullin and Miller with their three-point shooting. Smith, you see him a lot out on the floor shooting jump shots. It's very difficult for him to get to the offensive board sometimes.
Kobe set up low. The catch and then a quick fadeaway to give the Lakers the lead again.
Jalen Rose has got to meet this challenge. Right now, Kobe Bryant's taking the ball to him.
Smits against Eldon Campbell, and he was fouled again. Kobe coming to life now with 9 points, 7 of them in the second quarter.
But he catches the ball in the lane, and watch his fadeaway. He creates space, and Jalen Rose is going to have to do a better job defensively. He cannot allow Kobe to catch the ball in the scoring areas so easily.
The foul was on Eldon Campbell, his first.
See, Bob, you can see what's happened. Rick Smits rested a long time on the bench. He comes in, and the moment he came in, they've gone to him 4 straight possessions. So Larry Bird is going to use him for his offense. Last year, when he was the leading scorer for the Pacers, their record was 20-3. They need him to score.
10 points now for Smits, who made the All-Star team last year for the first time in a long career. Mullin, Bryant, jumper over it. You have to respect the drive. There's no way he can stay with Kobe in terms of quickness, and then he gives him room for the jumper.
The importance of being able to shoot the ball as well as able to slash and cut.
Mark Jackson's 3 is good. Pacers by 2. And if you've been complaining about some of these 75-72 games you've been seeing as Derek Harper ties it at 48, you'll have no complaint about this one.
Speed again hurts the Pacers. You've seen 2 possessions where Kobe isolates and scores on Mullin. That time Harper blows right around Mark Jackson.
Behind the back stands Davis, who is collared by Eldon Campbell, almost literally.
Foul number 41, Eldon Campbell, his second personal.
The little slip on the screen, you see the defender gets out on the high side, Shaq. Dale Davis taught the minute he feels that to slip and go right to the basket. But with a hard foul, he's going to have to earn them both now at the line.
Davis, a poor free throw shooter, made them both the last time he was at the line. You look around the league in the early going, and there are a lot of trends that have been in place the last few years that contributed to this, and then the short training period, rusty shooting also adds to it. But there have been a lot of games, 75-72, 80-78, but the pace of this is as quick as almost any game I've seen so far this year.
Well, I think it's also helped that although the Pacers have been on the road for 5 straight, they've had 2 days in between. They've got some fresh legs today, as do the Lakers. They had 2 days off after Minnesota.
Shaquille O'Neal muscles it up and misses. The tip doesn't drop, but it comes to Kobe, and they'll set it up. 1.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. Kobe fade away over Jackson. Rebound to Campbell. Shaq will finish it.
That just breaks your back. You play very good defense. You force tough shots. If you're going to give a team like the Lakers 3 or 4 shots at the basket, Bob, you're going to be in big trouble.
Kobe cutting in front with a steal, almost. Knocked it away. Jackson picked it up. Smits from 20. The rebound taken by Eddie Jones. Harper on the run. Cut off by Jackson. Kobe had an open three, gave it to Campbell instead. It was fouled by Smits.
Little spurts at the end of quarters, at the end of halves, really paid dividends for teams. You're seeing that right now from the Lakers. Campbell's going to miss this second shot opportunity, but here's Shaq once again on the boards and the follow-up. 3 offensive rebounds on that one possession.
And that was the 3rd foul on Smits.
See, Rick Smits has a very difficult time playing against big, strong people. When they put their body into him, Bob, it knocks him back, and he doesn't have good foot movement. So what he ends up doing is reaching and getting a lot of touch fouls. And for a big guy, as a coach, you're saying, I don't want you to commit those fouls. Hard fouls, one thing, touch fouls, no.
He goes out, replaced by Sam Perkins. Shaquille O'Neal will sit out the last 53 seconds of the half. Corey Blunt makes his first appearance. Campbell got a lucky bounce on the first one, but not the second. Rebound to Dale Davis. Reggie Miller, a long three that's way off.
That was a design play to get a quick 2-for-1 for the Pacers.
He was 5 feet beyond the arc. Harper missed it short. Blunt keeps it alive. Back out to Harper.
No new shot clock. It did not hit the rim.
So they have 5 to shoot. And they throw it away.
So that's just the newness of not playing with each other. Harper penetrated, expected Fox to cut to the basket, and Fox faded behind the three-point line.
Now the Pacers with a chance to take the half's final shot and tie it with a 2 or take the lead with a 3. Jackson behind the back flip inside to Davis, and they tie the game at 51. 2.5 seconds. Kobe with the heave at the buzzer. And a fast-paced first half comes to a close, tied at 51. Shaq had 19 plus 9 rebounds. Smith scored 10 and chipped in with 3 boards. Stay tuned for the Prudential Halftime Report coming up after these messages. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report. Prudential, a global leader in investments, insurance, and real estate. See why Prudential is the rock-solid choice for your financial needs.
It's halftime at the Great Western Forum with the Lakers and Pacers all tied up at 51. Shaquille O'Neal leads all scorers with 19 points. Reggie Miller with just 6 points on 2 of 7 shooting for Indiana. Hi, everybody. Hannah Storm back with Isaiah Thomas, Peter Vesey, and for the day, Big Bill Walton joining us, and we will get all of their thoughts momentarily. But first, the 4 early games in the NBA, starting with the 2 surprise teams in the East, unbeaten Milwaukee visiting the Orlando Magic. And George Karl and the Bucks have off to a 3-0 start coming into this one. Milwaukee's Terrell Brandon in the second quarter with the steal, the lay-in, and draws the foul. He got a game-high 20 points. The Bucks led by 1 at the half. Fourth quarter, Bucks by 1. Penny Hardaway strong to the hole for the go-ahead score, and the Magic up by 1. Penny with a team-high 18. Milwaukee a last chance to tie it. Brandon, the desperation 3, falls short. The Magic go on to win 85-82. They hand the Bucks their first loss of the season. Orlando's won 4 in a row to go 5-1. Atlanta at Philly. Dikembe Mutombo temporarily sidelined in the third quarter after taking an elbow from Theo Ratliff. The Hawks trailed by 16 in the second half but fought back. Grant Long to Mutombo for the jam. Hawks down by 4 with over a minute left, but the Sixers answer back. Allen Iverson drives the baseline, hits the jumper to put Philly up by 6. Iverson 32 points, 6 steals, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. The Sixers win at 78-70. They go to 4-1. San Antonio at Chicago. Former Bulls guard Steve Kerr making his return and receives his championship ring from Jerry Krause. Fourth quarter, Spurs up by 4. Familiar sight for Bulls fans. Here's Kerr with the 3. 3 for 3 beyond the arc. He finished with 11 points. The Spurs by 7. Chicago pulled within 2, but David Robinson sparked a 16-4 run with 9 points down the stretch. Breakout game for him this season. Robinson had 22 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks. San Antonio's second straight road win after a 3-game skid. And it was Vancouver over Dallas 96-92. What a game for Sam Mack of the Grizzlies. 26 points, 8 3-pointers in that one. All right, so a lot going on, and Orlando sitting atop the Atlantic Division, playing great basketball, Peter.
Are you surprised?
Well, me and the rest of America, let's put it that way.
Chuck Daly's not surprised, I don't think. He's got a healthy Penny Hardaway. He added Ike Austin, so he had 4 post-up players. The only thing he was worried about was, were they going to convert the open shot? They weren't able to do that last year. There's going to be a lot more of that this year with those 4 post-up players. Today they were 2 for 17 from three-point range, and Hardaway missed 4 of those, and Nick Anderson missed 8. He was 0 for 8, 0 for 12 combination from 3. But to Anderson's credit, down the stretch, he hits 5 straight free throws, 5 for 6 for the game. Obviously, he's not thinking about Houston 95 game 1.
Something about free throws, Nick Anderson, I don't know. Okay, back to the game today. The Lakers, Travis Knight getting the start at power forward. Of course, all the talk about Rodman and that is one of their big weaknesses. How do you think Knight's played in the first half?
Well, he's played incredible. I think he's the perfect complement to Shaq. He's played 20 minutes. He's leading them in minutes played right now for this game. Has 8 rebounds and 3 blocks. He can hit the outside shot. And they like his temperament in the game also.
Maybe this is why they got him back from Boston. Okay, Bill, what do you like about what Indiana's doing in the first half here?
And the Pacers' style is beginning to look a lot like Utah here. They're getting Shaq playing his game, but the Lakers are all standing around watching. Now, the Indiana Pacers on the offensive end, they're taking advantage of the Lakers' weak spots up front. The question at the end of this game, is Indiana going to have a go-to guy? It's been Smits and Miller. Those are the obvious guys. I think it's going to be Jalen Rose and Travis Best. They're the guys who have the offensive confidence right now.
Okay, well, other sports news. The Daytona 500 and 27-year-old Jeff Gordon won NASCAR's most prestigious race for the second time in 3 years. Gordon held off last year's champ Dale Earnhardt in a thrilling finish. And speaking of young phenoms, Tiger Woods won the Buick Invitational a short while ago by nailing an eagle putt on 18 to beat Billy Ray Brown by 2 strokes. What a finish. When we return, Doug Collins will join us as we talk about some of the early trends in the NBA this season. First, a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. Welcome back. Certainly lots to talk about. Pretty interesting early season here in the NBA as we bring in Doug Collins and get some of his impressions. And Doug, let's start out east. What do you see?
Well, I think you talk about the Indiana Pacers firsthand, and they're playing very well today. I think you can see that. They've had 5 of their first 6 games on the road, so the schedule's sort of been against them. I think this will be a team that gets better as the season goes on. So I still think that they're going to be the team that you're going to have to maybe go through in the East. The Atlantic Division is the thing you have to really worry about. You're talking about New York, Miami, New Jersey, combination of injuries, trades, changing the rosters. Those 3 teams are really struggling right now.
Meanwhile, Orlando is really taking advantage of what's happening in the Atlantic, Bill.
I hate to ruin my credibility by agreeing with Peter Vesey here, but here's Orlando Magic with legs underneath Penny Hardaway for the first time in years, and that's great. The guys love playing for Chuck Daly, the coach, and they finally have somebody who can score in the middle in Ike Austin. With the New York Knicks, when are they going to sign Kevin Johnson? Here's a guy who desperately wants to play for him. He's waiting for the call. Ernie Grunfeld, please get it done. And then Isaiah, your old team, the Detroit Pistons. Here's Grant Hill. I think he's the sharpest player in the league coming out of the blocks.
I'd have to agree with you. Grant Hill has definitely had a surprising start. The Pistons are playing exceptionally well. And a 1-2 punch of Hill and Stackhouse is probably the most potent punch in the league right now, second to maybe Shaq and Kobe Bryant. They can both get to the foul line. They're making their free throws, and they can create for others. And it's a surprising team right now, but I love the way they're playing. They're up-tempo. Their style is great. Exciting to watch.
Let me enlighten Bill. The Knicks would love to have KJ, but only if Chris Childs or Charlie Ward goes down with an injury or they trade Childs. Then they would reach out for KJ. They can't have 3-point guards. Anything else?
They have none yet.
They have none yet. Good point.
All right, let's move out west, and it seems like a lot of the stronger teams now in the NBA are in the Western Conference. So, Doug, your impressions in the early going there?
Well, once again, Hannah, Utah is too old, so they have not lost a game yet this year. They're off to their best start ever. But the 2 teams that I think they're under a lot of scrutiny right now are San Antonio, that's gotten off to a very slow start. David Robinson and Tim Duncan are really struggling. And then I think you took a look at this Laker team. You know, the microscope is on this team right now, waiting for everything to gel. Now you throw in the Dennis Rodman factor, And all eyes are on the Lakers, but I think when you look at the West, that's really what jumps out at me right now.
Still going to go through Utah, isn't it, Isaiah?
Yeah, I think you're still going to go through Utah. I think the lockout really helped Stockton and Malone, particularly Stockton, was able to train a little bit harder, able to let some of his injuries heal, and his legs right now are fresh as ever.
Don't discount the Seattle Sonics. They're playing great basketball. Granted, the schedule has been very suspect. That's going to change this week. If they can solve their interior problems, if they can find that one tough, mean, rugged guy who can control and battle on the board, something that they didn't have last year, that'll help a lot. He's tough and mean and nasty, but he has no game whatsoever. And then with San Antonio, you have to ask the question here, is David Robinson healthy? It's not happening right now there for the Spurs.
We'll invite you back another time.
Okay, Peter would like to talk now. Peter?
No, I like what Jeff Petrie has done with the Kings. He's made them competitive and exciting. He drafted Jason Williams. I love that kid's game. And I got to give credit to Chris Webber. He's accepted his role out there, and his role is to carry the team. He didn't want to be there, but his numbers all across the stat sheet are unbelievable. And Vlade Divac's unselfish passing, it's contagious. Everybody's picked up on it. And Corliss Williamson, the steal of the free agent market, $500,000. That's all it cost them.
The Kings, the Blazers. Peter, you got to come west a little bit and check it out.
This is a guy who covers the Clippers.
Right. And as for the Sonics, they are undefeated, but we'll see how good they really are in the upcoming week as they face the Utah Jazz twice and the Lakers once. And many of the top teams we've been talking about will be featured next weekend here on NBC. We begin with a special Saturday edition of the NBA on NBC. Showtime at 3 o'clock Eastern. And then you'll see either Seattle and Utah, both of them undefeated right now, though they do play each other on Tuesday. Others will see Houston and Miami. On Sunday, a triple header, showtime at 12:30 Eastern. Game 1, Detroit at San Antonio for most of you, Chicago at New York for others. All of you will see Houston visiting red-hot Orlando in the middle game. And then most of you will see the Lakers in Seattle, while others we'll see New Jersey at Indiana in the triple header game. And I think we've got it all covered next weekend. The Lakers and the Pacers, meanwhile, all tied at 51. We'll send you back to the Forum for the second half after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential, a global leader in investments, insurance, and real estate. See why Prudential is the rock-solid choice for your financial needs.
Before we begin the second half, let's check with Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Bob. I reported earlier that Robert Horry had gone to the hospital with some sort of an indigestion problem. It has now been diagnosed as an irregular heartbeat. He's at Centinela Hospital. He'll remain there overnight, and he'll be monitored and undergo tests. And I guess we'll find out an update on that situation tomorrow. Jim?
All right, Ahmad, let's hope that Robert Horry's okay. As for the game, Larry Bird unhappy with the rebounding. They trailed 27-14, only 4 offensive rebounds. He says no rebounds, no rings. That's an old line from Pat Riley, so he used it today here in this building. He also said that Derek Harper disrupted him in the last 2 minutes. They must be much more concise in their play in the last 2 minutes of the quarter and be more decisive offensively. Bob?
Jim, thank you. Obviously, the Robert Horry situation doesn't have to be serious. We'll await the outcome of further tests, but you can just bet that this will increase the drumbeat for signing Dennis Rodman, don't you think, Doug?
I agree. Now with Horry being down, they're going to be one shy on that front line, and I'm sure the Rodman talks will increase.
In the lane, Dale Davis as we start the third quarter. Travis Knight says, who, me? But Davis is coming to the line.
But Travis Knight knows you do not want to foul in that situation. You have Dale Davis fading away from the basket. Get a hand in front of him, get a hand in his face, make him take a tough shot. He hit him on the arm. Dale Davis once again back at the line.
Knight picks up his fourth. They handed out multicolored balloons, some red and white for a Valentine's Day combination, others in Laker purple. And the fans are trying to distract Davis by waving them from behind the basket. He missed the first and made the second. Since he's a 50% career shooter, it's hard to tell whether he was affected by the attempted distraction. Picks up the loose ball. Back comes Indiana.
Pacers must get Miller involved here. He's a guy that's got to give him 20 points if they're going to beat this team today here in L.A.
Play is stopped.
Foul number 6, Jim
Reggie throws the ball in the post, and as he starts to cut, you see Eddie Jones with the hand check.
And he gets hit with his third. Miller over Jones. Hits his first shot of the second half. Fisher into the lane. The floater's no good. Shaq has it knocked away by Smits, and back comes Jackson. Jackson drills the 15-footer.
See a subtle little thing there, but Dale Davis ran the floor, and when he did, he took Mark Jackson's man with him that freed him up for the open shot. That was a nice hustle play by Davis that gave his team 2 points.
Fisher was open and hit the three as Shaq passed out of the double.
See, I think Shaq has got to do more of that, Bob. I don't think he has to feel like that he has to score every time he touches it. He took 17 shots in the first half to get 19 points.
Made 8 of the 17, plus 3 of 5 at the line.
Easy.
Smits. Corey Blunt is on him. Jackson with the running one-hander had to shoot it to beat the shot clock. Now here comes Jones with Miller, the only guy back. Eddie Jones can't hit. And Reggie grabs the rebound.
See, that's a tough shot. Eddie Jones has got to put that one away, Bob. That degree of difficulty is way too hard. Pull that back. Have a little bit more patience.
Yeah, you don't get extra credit for degree of difficulty. This isn't gymnastics or diving. Reggie the fadeaway. And a whistle as he let it go.
Well, you can see what's occurred now. Larry Bird, being an MVP in this league, says, I've got to get my best player, Reggie Miller, on the scoreboard. So you've seen the last 2 possessions, isolations. Reggie jumps up and hits a little jumper. This time he goes into the post. You expect him to make both of these. He's a terrific free throw shooter.
Reggie Miller is the only Pacer averaging over 27 minutes a game. He plays about 35 a game, just as he did last year. No other Pacer averaging more than 27 minutes. And this is without Derek McKee, who's missed the whole season with a sore back. So they have a very deep bench.
Well, they're a team, I think, more than any other team in the league that's a sum of their parts. Bob, when you look at individual statistics, they have nobody in the top 10 of anything other than Mark Jackson with assists.
On the other hand, Kobe, Shaq, and Eddie Jones all averaging 40 minutes of play a game so far for the Lakers. And they throw it away. Pacers lead by 4.
Again, what Bob talked about, you have 3 guys there who are at the top 10 in the league in minutes played, and Bryant Jones and O'Neal, and the strength and numbers of the Indiana Pacers. Can that committee win a championship?
Mullen trying to post up on the smaller Fisher. Fade away. Got it. Mullen has 7. There was a time with Golden State when he averaged in the mid-20s. Now they hope to get 12 to 15 from him. Hope that he'll hit the open shot.
His job is to score points. When he's out there, he looks to shoot the ball.
Indy off to a 9-3 run at the start of the third.
You know, a subtle little thing in basketball is your big men running. And the play that we talked about with Mark Jackson on a break, he's pushing the ball up the floor, Bob. The wings are covered. And watch Dale Davis.
Pacers by 6, their biggest lead of the game. Derek Fisher lays it off with Corey Blunt, who's coming to the line with a chance to cut the Indiana lead in half.
Now, I looked over at Dick Harder, who's their defensive guy, and when Reggie Miller made that touch foul and didn't wrap him up to give Blunt an opportunity for a 3-point play, Harder looked at him and said, grab him, do not give him layups. Remember, now, this is a guy who was with Pat Riley. Their philosophy is no easy layups. Make them earn them at the free throw line. That's a touch 3-point play.
First foul for Miller. Indiana by 3. Mark Jackson underneath to Davis, who's hammered. Jump ball is called. No foul. Jump ball. Davis thought he was fouled. Kobe Bryant thought he traveled. Dick Bavetta thought it was a jump ball, and only Bavetta's vote counts. The tip to Indiana. Kobe went for the steal and almost got it. And now there's a whistle as Miller makes his move.
See, Reggie Miller loves to throw his body into you, and Kobe Bryant is frustrated right now. He thought he was in good position, and Reggie just threw his body in there to get the foul. That's the frustrating thing when you play Reggie, because he's so good at drawing those kind of fouls.
And tonight, NBC presents the powerful new miniseries To Serve and Protect. A family of cops takes on a serial killer, and in the turn of events, becomes his target. To Serve and Protect tonight on NBC. The foul on Bryant versus third. And Reggie makes them both.
And Reggie is involved once again. He's gotten himself active on the offensive end. He's gotten to the free throw line. As a result, his team now has a 5-point lead.
Fisher fires and cans the three. Derek Fisher has been off to a very slow start this year, showing a few signs of coming out of it today.
Well, I tell you, I spent some time with him yesterday, Bob. I'm so impressed with his knowledge of this team and what this team needs to do. I hope his team will listen to him.
Mark Jackson plans with Eddie Jones, and an offensive foul is called.
You know, sometimes if you're not a star, Bob, you have a tendency to sort of get pushed aside or whatever, but you see on the play here, Derek stepping in there and playing the spin move of Mark Jackson, drawing the foul. So that's 2 threes he's hitting this quarter and drawing the nice foul.
Shaq from Kobe tries to muscle it up and can't get it done. Miller. Shaq got a hand on it. No foul called. Blunt pegs it ahead to Bryant. Who was fouled by Mark Jackson.
That is what the Laker fans have been waiting to see all season long. The steal, the knock away by Shaq, the quick outlet pass. Bill Walton would love this outlet pass. They're already down to half court. And then one extra pass. The ball does not hit the floor. And an opportunity now for Eddie Jones as he goes strong to the basket to get the foul.
Eddie Jones, twice an All-Star. Last year averaged 17 points a game. His name has been constantly found in trade rumors. To Sacramento for Mitch Richmond at one point. To Charlotte in the package for Glenn Rice.
Well, you know that's not going to go away, especially if Rodman comes here. You're going to think, well, they're going to have to now trade Campbell. And if that's the case, will it be the Charlotte deal? So even if Rodman comes here, it's going to be the spin machine is going to keep turning, Bob. This team is going to be under a microscope all season long.
1 of 2 for Jones. Five seconds on the shot clock. Miller has it knocked away. Here comes Fisher. Jones on his right. Alley-oop. The Lakers seize both the lead and the momentum.
Well, how do you run in this league? You do it with stops defensively, defensive rebounding, deflections, and out and going. That's what you've seen the last 2 possessions now by the Lakers.
Jackson trying to back Fisher down. Deals to Smits. Who misses? Davis tries to follow and can't. Back come the Lakers. Shaq with a little hop, and then he deals it out to Jones, and Fisher's open. Missed the 3. And Jackson comes away with it for Indiana. Mullen, pull-up 3. It's long, chase to the side, and Jackson can't recover it. Fisher does. Here's Eddie Jones. Del Harris told us yesterday. In fact, he emphasized it so much, I felt like saying, Del, yeah, we understand. You want your team to run. Well, he's getting his wish today.
Well, and the beautiful plays on the end of the fast break. Look at the crowd. They're into the game. The speed game of the Lakers right now paying great dividend, but they've done it with their deflections. That's the 3rd deflection in this quarter. Derek Fisher keeps his dribble. The alley-oop to Eddie Jones. The gorgeous finish, and then one more time. Eddie Jones on the tail end of a fast break, and if you want to score, you get him easy.
Lakers on an 11-2 run, emphasis on the word run.
The Lakers on a run, they lead by 3, and we're going to show you the fast break and exactly the time that it takes. The loose ball, Derek Fisher's going to come up with it. You see the clock in the lower right, and Eddie Jones to the finish, 4.6 seconds. That's what you call getting quick, early, easy baskets.
You've been talking about the Lakers' big 3. Well, they've done it in segments. Shaq had the big first quarter with 12. Kobe had the big second quarter. He scored 9. In this third quarter, Eddie Jones has 7 already.
And what's happened is the Lakers' speed, 14 fast break points now. They're taking advantage of that and dictating the pace of this game.
Here's Smits. Huge size advantage on Blunt. Misses the hook over it. Eddie Jones. Out to Shaq. Into the lane. Lunging jumper.
I like what Shaq has done in this quarter. That's only a second field goal attempt. Bob, you got to pick and choose your space a little bit. Anchor the defense. They'll go to you in the post.
Kobe on Mullen. 9 seconds to shoot. Mullen into the lane. Lays it off from Miller, who hits from the baseline.
Well, they needed that. That really sort of at least put them at bay just a moment.
Fisher will set it up. Kobe using Shaq's screen, slapped away by Jackson, and recovered by Mullen. Mullen against Fisher. Leaning jumper on him, way off.
Oh, Fisher really took the challenge.
Here comes Kobe. Reverse. With the exclamation point, I don't know which would have been more exciting. If Fisher had made, rather if Kobe had made the reverse, or missing it to allow Shaq to slam it. Smits quieting the Laker crowd just a bit. LA had been on a 15-4 run before that basket. Lakers by 3. Here's Blunt. Given room, he hits. Jackson whips it to Smits. Give Jackson the assist on Smits' basket, and here's the list of players in NBA history who have more assists than Mark Jackson. John Stockton, Magic Johnson, Oscar Robertson, and Isaiah Thomas. Hall of Famers all. Smits took it away. And Shaq reaches over Jackson and fouls him.
Now, Shaquille O'Neal had only taken 1 shot into the quarter. His team was out running on the fast break. He was outletting and watching it, getting a little rest. This time he spins in off the glass, and he gets 2. And then the circus shot by Kobe Bryant. And he doesn't finish here, but Shaq right there on the doorstep with the slam dunk.
You know, Doug, you could win a lot of bar bets by asking a question like this. Who has more career assists? Bob Cousy, Walt Frazier, or Mark Jackson?
Absolutely. Well, Mark Jackson is a guy that throughout his career has been very durable, and he's done a nice job of seeing the floor. He's a bigger point guard, and you can see quite a list there. Our own Isaiah Thomas, Oscar, Magic Johnson, John Stockton. Quite an elite group there that Mark Jackson's a part of.
Mark Jackson will not be a Hall of Famer, but he has had an admirable career. He's been very durable. Missed only 5 games the last 7 seasons. And the 2 free throws bring the Pacers to within 1.
See, I think that Dell's going to have to think about maybe getting Shaq out and getting him a little rest in the 4th quarter. Remember, he ran out of gas against Utah.
Shaq spins it. Davis. What a combination of finesse and power.
I guess he still has a little energy left. Forget that, Dell. Just keep him out there.
Rick Fox on Jalen Rose. Contact in the lane between Bryant and Miller, and a whistle away from the ball.
How about the speed? How about the speed of this spin move? Watch him drop step. And Antonio Davis said, where did he go? Put your hand up there and try to stop that, Bob.
First of all, how do I get my hand up there?
We'll help you.
Miller makes the first. The foul on Bryant was his fourth.
So what Reggie Miller did on this last possession, he looked up at the clock and he said, you know what? They have 4 fouls, so we're going to shoot the rest of the way. So he cut to the basket, and he threw himself into Kobe Bryant, and he got the foul to get to the 2 free throws. And Kobe looked around and said, he's the one that created the contact. Reggie made a nice, smart play there to get 2.
Miller has 16, 10 of them in this third quarter. Shaq. Miller over on the double. Shaq looking to pass out of it. Blunt hands it to Fox. 5 seconds to shoot. Fox underhands it as he cuts through the lane. And Jalen Rose comes away with the loose ball finally. They pick it ahead for Miller, and Harper steps in front and picks it off. Harper to Shaq. He was fouled.
Real smart play there by Jalen Rose. Had he allowed a dunk by Shaquille, this crowd would have really erupted. Now, maybe he can diffuse them a little bit, make him go to the line and miss a couple. But with all that we've talked about with the Lakers here, as we see the alley-oop and then the hard foul on Shaquille, with all that's said and done, they still only have a 1-point lead on the Pacers, so the Pacers are hanging around through this rush.
Shaquille O'Neal has spent a lot of time on the injured list the past 2 seasons plus, and the Lakers have gone 33-21 in his absence. They've won 61% of the games he's missed, but they've won 76% of the games he's played.
Well, Bob, they're a good team without him, but they are a great team with him.
He makes 1 of 2, and then Harper picks off the rebound on the miss. 2 minutes to play in the quarter. Shaq. Here's something scary. He's obviously getting better. I don't mean in this game. I mean overall in his game.
Well, you can just see he's added so many things other than a dunk to his game that's enabling him to score down there now.
Smits missed the turnaround. Harper has it. Lakers look to run. But Indiana gets back, and Harper circles outside. He has 30.
But remember how I talked about the end of quarters, how important they are? Right now, in the first half and in this quarter, the Lakers are dominating to get leads at the end of quarters.
Up by 6. Miller turns and shoots. Jones rebounds. Pull up. Short. And Miller grabs it. A minute to play. Jalen Rose may have traveled, and he did.
Shaquille O'Neal in the low block. Antonio Davis just gets buried by this huge body who dances to the basket and gets the easy score. And now he says, I'm just going to beat you with power here. And just a great feed from Corey Blunt in the finish. But Jalen Rose has really struggled today, Bob. He only had 2 field goals in the first half, and we talked about how vital it was for him to consistently play well. Today, he has not done that.
Eddie Jones misses on the 3. Rose takes it out of there. Campbell in for Shaq in the last minute of the third quarter. Reggie. Off the baseline, a 2-point basket. He's come alive in this third quarter. He has 18, 12 of them in this period. Game clock overlaps the shot clock by about 3 seconds.
The Pacers do have a foul to give here. Will they take it?
Nice move by Harper with the left hand. And a whistle as they battle for the rebound.
That's a bad foul right there by Eldon Campbell. Now they're going to shoot 2 free throws. Derek Harper takes a tough shot. The Pacers chose not to foul. They had a foul to give, but now the loose ball foul. If he makes both these free throws, Bob, it's a 2-point game now going into the 4th quarter.
And coming up next on NBC.
Later on Dateline, she was a daredevil on the slopes, but this time did she go too far? Plus, the brains behind the brawn of the WWF tonight on Dateline.
Wrestling on Dateline. I understand it's Stone Phillips and Jane Pauley in a steel cage death match. Don't miss it. The foul on Eldon Campbell a moment ago was his 3rd.
Remember now, the Pacers still have a foul to give, so they can become very aggressive up the floor, take the foul and make the Lakers inbound the ball, so they should give up no easy shots here on this possession.
Miller has 20, and it's a 2-point game again. Hurrying to the front court is Harper. Harper into the lane, loses it. And with 12 minutes remaining in regulation, this is a 2-point game. Shaq has a dozen rebounds to go with those 30 points through 3 quarters. We'll be right back after these words from your local station. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Doug, this is only the 2nd game we've called this year for NBC, but each of us watch a fair share on television. This might be the most entertaining game I've seen on TV or in person this year.
I would agree with that, and I think it's also the highest quality game that I've seen. Both teams are playing very well here. I think a lot of it is guys are starting to get in better shape. They had a couple days between games. You talk about the magnitude of this game. Both of these teams are answering the challenge. This is the best game I've seen this season.
Travis Best is in and guarding Harper as he comes across. Here's Rick Fox. Austin Crozier on him. Fox to the baseline, giving the Lakers a 4-point lead.
See, Del Harris is resting Shaquille O'Neal here to start this 4th quarter. I think that's a good move, Bob. He's expended a lot of energy. Maybe get him a little rest. As long as you stay in the lead, you milk that time over there with him. I think this is a good decision. Also, too, Rick Smits is not in the game right now, so they don't need his size as much.
Derek Harper picked up his 2nd foul. Here's Jalen Rose. And Antonio Davis may have gotten that while it was on the rim, and I think it was going to fall anyway. Offensive goaltending takes the basket away.
Rose with the runner, and the ball is going to be up over the basket in the cylinder, and you see Antonio Davis jammed that thing back in there, but that was a good call. The ball was definitely still in the cylinder.
Fox off the dribble into a crowd. Eddie Jones. Fox for 3. Loose ball to Travis Best. Crozier. Way short. Air ball. Grabbed by Campbell. Eddie Jones exploding to the basket, but knocked away and out of bounds.
You can really see that Rick Fox just does not have his legs yet. His quickness. Remember, Bobby missed a whole lot of time. He had some orthotics that didn't fit properly. His feet got very sore. Trying to work himself now back into shape. They need him off the bench.
Here is Fox with the jumper. You called it. Fox has 8. And the Lakers have a 6-point lead. Jalen Rose. Eldon Campbell takes the rebound. He did not play especially well with Shaq out Thursday in Minnesota. He shot 2 for 10, scored 5 points, had 9 rebounds in 34 minutes. He has a history, though, of playing well as a starter with Shaq out. Eddie Jones, tough shot in the crowd, doesn't drop. Antonio Davis has it.
That's that degree of difficulty shot we talked about. Bad shot by Eddie Jones.
Rose against Fox. Offensive foul on Jalen. That's 5 on Jalen Rose. Back to the forum after this. To this point in the game, Jalen Rose, the fifth-year man out of Michigan, has 4 points on 2 of 6 from the floor. He doesn't have any assists. Here's what Reggie Miller says about the importance of Jalen Rose to this team.
For us to win a championship, Jalen has to play each and every night because he's the only guy on our team that can play a number of positions, 1, 2, and 3. And he really controls that second unit. And when he is playing and when he is focused, yes, we're the best team in the league. When he's not, we suffer a little bit because sometimes he can come in and out. But when he's on top of his game, we're the best team.
Normally, you'd think a rose would bloom on Valentine's Day, but not today. Here's Rick Fox with a tough shot on the reverse.
See what the Lakers have done now. They've gone to that matchup. They love Rick Fox against Austin Crozier. He scored twice now, just in isolations.
Best around Perkins' screen. Antonio Davis tried to slam the follow, but it comes off. Jalen Rose chasing it down. Perkins into the hook. Missing the hook. Out comes Fox. Spin move. Misses off the glass. Campbell had it knocked away. Best leading Rose against Bryant, and he scores.
That's a nice play by Jalen Rose. He really got stuck too far underneath the basket, but he gathered himself and finished. He needed that one. A nice play there by Travis Best.
Fox with 5 on the 24. His pass is deflected, picked up by Campbell. They've got to shoot it. He beats the buzzer but misses the shot. Out of bounds to Indiana.
When you're struggling, you got to find a way to get something easy. Travis Best does a nice job. Jalen runs the floor to spin and actually gets too far underneath the basket and has to come back. He is a lefty, so it did make it an easier shot.
Davis muscles his way to the hoop, hits the bucket, and picks up the foul that brings him to the line.
That'll also bring Shaquille O'Neal into the game, so he got 4 minutes of rest in this quarter plus the timeout, so he should be fresh and ready to roll. I'd say that's pretty high percentage shooting in there, Bob, when you get that close to the basket. He's missed 10 shots, but I think a lot of those he's hurried, especially in the first half. He settled himself down in the second half and been a much better percentage shooter.
The foul on Eldon Campbell was his 4th. He goes to the bench as Shaq comes in. Travis Knight is also into the Laker lineup. Kobe Bryant with Rose guarding him a moment ago. After a Jalen Rose foul, I said it was his 5th, and I was wrong. This foul is his 3rd.
You know, when I look at this Indiana team, Bob, one of the guys they picked up in the offseason was Sam Perkins. Right now, he's out of shape. He's going to have to get in shape if he's going to help this team.
Kobe gets it out to Shaq. Fadeaway over Perkins is short. That's about as long a shot as he's taken today.
Yeah, and I don't think he needs to take that shot. I think he can power in there. He doesn't need that fadeaway.
Reggie. He's the all-time leader in three-pointers made, but missed that one. Kobe walks a tightrope along the sideline and keeps it in play. And a whistle from Dick Bavetta. Offensive foul. Kobe Bryant is hit with it. And that is 5 on Kobe.
Del Harris is going to have to go to the bench and get Eddie Jones into the game now. Kobe's going to have to be very smart. Reggie Miller, great at drawing fouls. He's got to back off of him and make sure he doesn't pick up his 6th on this possession.
Antonio Davis can't hit it. It remains a 3-point Laker lead. The rebound was the 14th for Shaq today. O'Neal in the lane with the hook that's swatted away, but it's goaltending against Antonio Davis.
But you see the difference in that percentage shot. That time he leaned in and he was about 5 feet away from the basket, going to the basket with his strong hand rather than fading away. And Antonio Davis didn't like the call, but once it's out of your hands that far, normally that's going to be goaltending.
Kobe on Reggie. Best water bug quick. Gives it up to Rose. Now it's Perkins, 3 seconds to shoot, and it's Best. The foul is there for Antonio Davis.
Shaquille went to block that shot, and then Davis right there, no one to block him out. We have a 3-point game, and Smits will be coming back soon, fresh and ready to help his team finish this game.
Harper fires. Antonio Davis has the rebound. They can tie with a 3. It's Jalen Rose. The follow is no good and a whistle. We'll be back in a minute. You're watching the NBA on NBC. There is Craig T. Nelson, the former Hayden Fox of Coach, who is one of the stars of the new NBC miniseries To Serve and Protect, which will be seen later tonight. Obviously, Craig T. with enough pull with someone at the Lakers or NBC to get good tickets for today's game. Antonio Davis is at the line. He scored 9 points today. 7 rebounds, as you see, in 19 minutes of work.
He was such a vital part of their playoff run last year. I thought in the playoffs he was so good for their team coming off the bench. And again, you see him 10 points now, 7 rebounds. This is the kind of production that Larry Bird wants out of Antonio Davis.
He was fouled just before the break by Rick Fox, which was Fox's second. He makes 1 of 2. And Travis Best reaches in there to keep it alive, and now Shaq hammers Davis as he tries to take it to the hole. That's 3 on Shaq. There's a full weekend of NBA action next week, and it begins on Saturday at 3 Eastern. Most of you will see the Rockets against the Heat. Others will see the Sonics and the Jazz beginning at 3 Eastern with showtime. Game times around 3:30 on Saturday. And then we have a triple header for you next Sunday, a week from today. Davis missed the first.
See, this is the importance of being able to step up to the line, both the Davis boys, and make free throws. You split them, you lose 2 points there. Otherwise, you're in the lead in this game. So Indiana hanging around right now with a chance to steal this game.
They're within 1. 5.5 minutes to play. Shaq draws the double. Out to Harper, who swings it to Jones. Travis Knight is open. Great ball movement by the Lakers. Just Knight's second basket. He's got 4.
I liked what Eddie Jones there did. He didn't settle for the 3. He dribble penetrated and got an easier one for Travis Knight.
Jalen Rose. And an offensive foul is called.
Offensive foul.
Travis Knight on the penetration from Eddie Jones. He has his hands ready, delivers the jump shot. He's having a terrific game today in the absence of Robert Horry. But remember, 2 years ago, he had the best year of his career here with the Lakers.
Foul was on Antonio Davis, his third. Here's Shaq in the lane. Ball knocked away, but he was fouled.
Now what we have to start thinking about is most every time Shaq catches it down there with that kind of position, the Pacers are going to waste fouls on him. Now, was he in the act of shooting or was he dribbling? But on the season, Shaq is 8 for 15 from the foul line in the fourth quarter, a little over 50%, which is basically what his career free throw shooting percentage is.
Only the Pacers' second team foul of the period. Laker ball from the side. Shaq with the hook.
unhappy about that. Another opportunity now for the Lakers on that second shot.
Rick Fox for three. Davis with the rebound. 9 boards now for Travis Knight, by the way. Jalen Rose connects off the glass.
Jalen Rose.
Again, a 1-point game.
It's getting about time for Rick Smits to come back into the ball game.
Shaq against Perkins, single coverage, and another goaltending call as Davis arrived late.
This is twice now where Antonio Davis has come over to give help, but he's gotten there just a hair late. Now that is very close, because if that ball had not gotten to the glass and it's still on its upward flight, you can take it to the glass.
34 now for Shaquille O'Neal. Reggie deals it out to Best, who nails the three.
It's his third of the game.
Ties it at 90.
So that play works because Harper helps off Miller coming off the screen, and Best then becomes wide open for the three.
Shaq, look out. Offensive foul. That's 4 on the big man.
Now this takes a lot of courage. Shaquille O'Neal is going to the basket, and you're going to see Tony Davis come over and take the charge. So the Pacers now will inbound the ball, Bob, with a chance to take the lead.
Antonio Davis is 6'9" and listed at 230. If that's accurate, he's giving away about 100 pounds.
That's why I said it takes a lot of courage to make that kind of move.
A whistle along the baseline.
See, Rick Fox stepped out that time. Reggie Miller loves to come roaring off those screens. And he comes flying off this screen, and you're going to see Fox step down and get the bump. Watch him here step down and just crack him. And Reggie very good at taking that little dive. More importantly, they're in the penalty, so 2 free throws now. Reggie Miller gets a chance to give his team the lead.
Lakers in the penalty. The Pacers still with a couple to give. Miller's perfect from the line, 10 for 10 today. And the Pacers have the lead with 3:07 left.
See, the Pacers are a veteran team. After playing against the Chicago Bulls last year, as we see Kobe Bryant check into the game, they don't panic. They have a lot of their coaches resolved. They took that flurry in the third quarter, and they stayed strong.
There's his first miss. Fox out, Kobe back in. Lakers down by 1. Miller went for the steal, didn't get it. Harper to Knight. Offensive foul, Knight on the charge.
How about these back-to-back plays by Tony Davis? Antonio Davis steps up. Now remember, your feet cannot be in that little dotted area. And he's going to step up. He gets out of that spot and once again gives his team another possession and wipes away a basket.
5 fouls on Travis Knight. 2:52 to play. Back to the Forum after this.
2 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the game. The Pacers now lead by 1, and they've done so on the great hustle of Antonio Davis. He's had a nice fourth quarter, 7 points and 6 assists, but the 2 defensive plays back-to-back, these are game-winning plays for you. You give your body up for your team, and now the Pacers have a chance to push their lead to 3 with this possession.
Couple of things to think about as we head down the stretch. In a single possession game, Larry Bird is without Derek McKee, an important defensive stopper. Late in the game, no matter how many points he scored, you have to worry about Shaq as a free throw shooter. And Kobe Bryant has taken only 6 shots in this game. He's made 4 of them, but for him, he's had an off game. Whose hands is the ball in with the game on the line? It's Miller.
Reggie.
Drilling the 3. There's your answer.
There you go, Coach. Which team were you talking about there?
How many clutch baskets has he made in 12 years in the NBA? Here's Shaq against Smits. Out to Harper.
No layups if you're Indiana. Absolutely no layups.
How about a little baby hook? It won't fall, though. And it's out of bounds to the Pacers.
Well, you want to know the go-to guy. Reggie Miller's a 90% free throw shooter. He's also a killer on these kind of shots. He gives his team a 4-point lead. And look for him to go back to him once again. He loves this kind of stage.
Lots of friends in attendance. He, of course, played at UCLA. He has a home in the Los Angeles area. Again for three. Wait a minute. They wait. No basket, offensive foul.
Well, they ran the same play. What happens is Reggie cuts inside of Antonio Davis, and he sort of loops himself out. Watch him now. He cuts inside. He uses Antonio, twirls himself away. Antonio Davis must have moved on the screen. That's a big play because that would have put them up 7. That would have been a killer shot.
Inside 2 minutes. Shaq against Davis. And Antonio Davis reaches in and fouls him as Shaq receives the pass.
Well, Antonio Davis has got to be very careful. He sort of threw his hand at the referee that time. He put his whistle in his mouth like he was going to call a technical. Reggie says, no, no, not now.
The Pacers are still not over the limit, so it's Laker ball on the side.
This is where the Lakers got themselves in trouble against Utah. Remember, Bob? They got stagnant in the half court.
Del Harris wants him to call timeout, and the Lakers don't hear him. Jones with an off-balance shot. Shaq can't finish it. But the second try for him and the third try overall for the Lakers is there, cutting the lead to 2, and Shaq has 36. Harris was signaling for a timeout. No one heard him. To play. Jalen Rose stumbles but gets it to Smits, who is fouled by Knight. And if it is Knight, he's fouled out.
Bob, I watched that play develop, and it was so interesting. The Lakers were so worried about Miller coming off the screen that Jalen Rose got to the other side open, and instead of shooting the jumper, he penetrated. And he got Rick Smits on the little handoff going to the basket who got the foul. But I watched that whole play develop, and Reggie drew 2 defenders. Rose was wide open.
Knight fouls out with 4 points and 9 rebounds. And Smits misses. One of 2 3-point game. Here's Kobe. Over Rose. Cuts it to 1.
Now, the other night in Denver, when they needed a basket, they went to Kobe 3 straight times, and he scored 8 points. He delivers once again. Now they need a defensive stop.
Jalen Rose, 5 on the shot clock. Shaq is on him. Huge jumper over the outstretched arm of Shaquille O'Neal. Timeout Lakers. 26.6 on the clock. Indiana by 3.
Now you can see the importance of Jalen Rose. Even though he struggled this entire game, Larry Bird has had him on the floor during the most crucial time.
The veteran Mark Jackson just sitting down in the background there, not in the lineup down the stretch here, but asked us before the game to say hello to his father, Harry, who is not feeling well, hospitalized back in the New York area, watching the game today. Mark wanted to send his best to his dad. Timeouts remaining. Pacers have 3 plus a 20. The Lakers have 3 timeouts, no 20.
Bob, what you saw there during that timeout also, you saw Mark Jackson talking to Jalen Rose, talking to him. Now, here's a guy who's not on the floor, but at the same time, he's out there helping his team. That's what happens when you get to be a veteran player, and the ring becomes the most important thing in your career at this stage.
Pacers just used their 22nd timeout. Tonight on NBC after the game, Dateline looks at the dangers of extreme skiing and takes a look at pro wrestling. Then the dramatic new NBC miniseries To Serve and Protect after Dateline tonight on NBC.
Now, this kind of time, you don't need a quick three. And I'm sure what the Pacers are talking about is we don't want to live in three-point shooters. We don't want any three-point plays going to the baskets. No touch fouls. If they score a two, they're going to have to foul us so we can run the clock out, so they'll get the ball in the hands of their best free throw shooter.
A long list of capable three-point shooters to choose from for Del Harris. Here's Kobe. Jalen Rose is on him. Here's the three. Can't tie it. Ball fought for, and Jalen Rose claims it. Surrounded and fouled. Well, Rose had not had much of a game through three quarters, but he turned in some big plays in the fourth.
And again, the confidence of Larry Bird to keep him on the floor. He knows that during the course of this season, he's going to need this kid to play well. And he stayed with him, and Jalen Rose has come up with some big plays. But I don't happen to like this shot right here, Bob. I think it's a giveaway three. If you miss it, basically you put yourself in a position to foul. You make them both, you're down 5. I think you got to get something going to the basket. And if it goes, that's nice. But the percentage is you're going to miss that shot.
Game as he misses the first one.
Well, he needs one of these to make it a two-possession game.
Remaining. 1 of 2, and a big one it was. The Lakers asked for time, down by 4, and we're back to the Forum after this. The Pacers on the verge of a big road win at the back end of a 5-game trip. 4 of their next 5 are at Market Square Arena.
This was a big game for the Pacers. If they can hold on and win, it's more their style of basketball. Their defense has been good, and then their execution in the fourth quarter. You see the scoring by quarter. The Lakers in this quarter have 16. It's the same thing that occurred in Utah, or against Utah last week. They got into a half court, and they just came to a halt.
Kobe Bryant on the run into a crowd and drawing a whistle. So Bryant will come to the line. They used up only 3 seconds there.
See, Bob, that's what I would like to have seen Kobe do the possession before, because as a coach, you're basically telling your guys don't foul. And that time he just jackknifed himself in there and forced the contact.
He can cut it to 2 if he makes the next one. The foul on Antonio Davis was his 5th.
If you're the Lakers, whatever you do, don't let Reggie Miller catch the ball.
Antonio Davis. And then Sam Perkins was looking for him, but instead they call a timeout, which seems like the smartest thing to do rather than risk the turnover. Back after these messages and a word from your local station. Let's take a look at Indiana's free throw shooters. They are the best free throw shooting team in the league overall. Rick Smits is on the floor. Dale Davis is not.
Well, the Lakers would like to make Antonio Davis catch the ball. They don't want to let Smits, Miller, or Best get the ball.
They get it into Reggie. Eddie Jones has no choice but to chase him and foul him with 8.3 on the clock. That's 4 on Eddie.
That's good execution, Bob. You had Jalen Rose. He took his time. He didn't panic. What you tell your guy taking the ball in, you say count to yourself. 1001, 1002. If you get the ball, take a timeout, but don't panic throwing the ball in. He didn't.
Reggie is 10 of 11 today. Again, a 3-point lead. They can hit the century mark and maybe put the game away with this one. 100-96.
If the Pacers hold on and win this game, it was the fact that they came out in that third quarter and got Reggie Miller involved in the game. Remember, Bobby had 7 points at halftime. He had a huge third quarter. Then they were able to go to their bench, rest their people, and then Smits, Reggie, these guys came back in fresh, and Antonio Davis has made monster plays when this game counted, especially on the defensive end.
The Lakers still have 1 timeout remaining. And I would guess you've got to shoot a 3 here, hope to hit it, and then if you foul, even if they make them both, you can tie it with another 3.
Well, you know, if you got timeouts, I've always said you still got plenty of time. If you can score here real quickly within 2 or 3 seconds and give yourself 5 seconds, you know, then you can still be in a situation where maybe you don't need that 3. So I think from their standpoint, they want to get the quickest basket they can get, and then if they have to, maybe get a steal and a foul.
Here's what's coming up after the game, Dateline, and then the beginning of the miniseries To Serve and Protect. Shaquille O'Neal with 36 points in the game. Kobe Bryant 15. Eddie Jones had 12.
See, but I think, Bob, what's happened, when I've seen the Lakers twice now here over the last 2 Sundays, Shaq is expending so much energy in the first half. It's almost like every time he touches it, he's trying to score. I think that early in the game, he can get his teammates involved. He can pick and choose. He's going to get 25 points. But I think that what you've seen is, as he's gotten tired in these 2 games, the team is sort of ground to a halt. And that's going to have to be something they're going to address.
Reggie Miller has 26. 20 of them in the second half. Smits with 15. Antonio Davis 11. And Jalen Rose a late spurt with 11 points. He hasn't had that many field goal attempts. He's done a lot of damage from the free throw line, including the last 2 clutch charity tosses. 11 of 12 from the stripe today.
There's a lot of different ways to score. If you're not scoring from the field, you see that number, 6 points right there. But if you're not scoring from the field, and what you have to be able to do is get to the line, and Reggie's done that.
Kobe Bryant forces a 3. Sliced to 1.
The game never ends when you're an NBA coach and you have the lead. Bob, I've said over there before, if that shot misses, the game is over. Now what you've got to do is you've got to get the ball inbounds, as we see the great shot here by Kobe. Look at, he shoots a jump shot. Look where he is. He jackknifes his legs and he knocks it. If that shot misses, the game is over.
Based on distance behind the arc and degree of difficulty, it should be a 4-point shot.
No question. But now what's happened is now you're Larry Bird. Now what you have to do, you have to take a timeout. You move the ball to half court. You got to get the ball in bounds. You got to make both free throws to give yourself a 3-point lead. And then a 3 still ties you. So much left to this game to be played.
If his outside shot continues to develop the way it has over the last year or so, given that incredible first step he has and the ability to create in the air, how are you going to stop him?
You won't. I mean, but the thing I love about this young guy is I've talked to a couple of Laker players, and the thing they admire most about him is not his talent, but the fact that he works so hard on his game. I talked to Derek Harper today, and he said, I have to sometimes drag this kid out of the gym. That's really being a throwback, and that's why he's getting better.
The Pacers have been out-rebounded today, 47-32, but they've made twice as many free throws as the Lakers. They've hit 32 of 40, while the Lakers have made 16 of 22. And therein lies the story of a Pacer win, if in fact it is a Pacer win.
Now, the one thing you tell your guy is absolutely no soft passes through the middle of the floor.
It'll be Jalen Rose to throw it in. Reggie Miller, Rick Smits, Antonio Davis, and Travis Best complete the 5 on the floor for Larry Bird. Rose asked for time as those 5 seconds were slipping away.
But again, he counted to himself, so he knew that he didn't have to panic.
Well, we have a chance. Let's go to New York. Here's Hannah Storm.
Thanks, Bob. Let's quickly run through the NBA scores today. The Orlando Magic are now 5-1 after beating the Milwaukee Bucks 85-82. Was Milwaukee's first loss. Surprising Philadelphia is 4-1 after beating a good Atlanta team. Allen Iverson had 32 for the Sixers. The Bulls are now 1-4 after losing at home to the San Antonio Spurs 89-76. And Vancouver beat Dallas 96-92 as Sam Mack hit 8 three-pointers and scored 26 points. One other NBA note, Charles Barkley underwent successful knee surgery this afternoon to repair a partially torn cartilage. The Rockets say he'll be out maybe 4 weeks. And a reminder that tonight on Dateline, an extraordinary story, an extreme skier, a daredevil on the slopes, not afraid to take chances. But one accident almost ended her career and her life. No one believed she would live through a fall that lasted almost 2 minutes. A survivor's story tonight on Dateline NBC. Right now, let's return to the Forum and rejoin Bob Costas and Doug Collins.
All right, Hannah, thanks. You know, Los Angeles fans in all sports are notorious for leaving early. Arriving late, leaving early. Look at these empty seats. A lot of people left. They didn't know what they were missing.
Now, Bob, this last time on the timeout, they did not guard Tony Davis. They just switched immediately. They forced him to try to throw the ball to him. And in the end, the smart thing, they called timeout. But basically, they're not playing Tony Davis. They're playing really 5-on-3 in bounds right now.
After the delay of game warning, Indiana gets it in. Smits catches it and is immediately fouled by Blunt. Exactly 4 seconds to play.
See, knowing Larry Bird the way I do, as much as this is a gut-wrenching way to try to win a game, he realizes to win championships, you've got to be able to execute these kind of things. Now it's important for Smits to step up there and make both of these free throws.
He's made 5 out of 6 today. Pacers don't have a timeout. The Lakers have one. If he makes this, he forces them into the three-point attempt. Smits trying to make it a three-point edge. And doesn't. Timeout as Blunt grabs the rebound. How about this?
You must execute at the end of the games. And the Lakers, even think about this. Kobe missed a three in two or three possessions ago, and they still have a chance to steal this game. Now 3 wins and 2 ties.
Through the years since joining the NBA following the collapse of the ABA in 1976, the Pacers have played 25 regular season games here. They've never met the Lakers in the playoffs, obviously, since Indiana's never made it as far as the NBA Finals. They had lost 22 of their 25 previous visits to this building. They lead now by 2 with just over 3 seconds to play. Let's take a look at Larry Bird's reaction as Smits, after making the first, missed the second.
Now, wait a second. Is that his reaction to that miss or to Reggie's three that won the game?
I'm trying to figure it out. You know, that is.
Isn't that the same look we saw?
Like we said last year, it's the stone-cold expression of an athletic assassin.
See, Bob, what I think you do right now is I think if you can get that ball to Kobe Bryant or whatever and say, look, Kobe, drive that ball to the basket, and if somebody helps, maybe you can dish it out and get a shot, maybe a three. But drive that ball to the basket, create contact, try to get a foul, or maybe dish for a three.
At first, the clock showed 3.1. Dick Bavetta had it restored to 3.7 because by rule, if you grab a miss off a free throw and immediately call timeout, only 3/10 comes off. So it went from 4 to 3.7.
So interestingly enough, they have a big lineup on the floor. Larry Bird has Antonio Davis and Perkins with 4 small players by the Lakers.
Fox into Kobe. May have to shoot the three for the win. Spins out. Pretty good game, huh, Doug?
Terrific ball game. Both teams played exceptionally well. And Kobe Bryant almost stole one from the Pacers here in the last couple possessions. But you're going to see this defender fell down. Jalen Rose fell down. He had a wide open look, actually easier than the one he made before, and he just missed it.
A long one, but he had a great look. He was squared up, good release, and almost hit it. For those of you in the Mountain and Pacific time zones, stay tuned for local programming. For those of you in the Eastern and Central time zones, we'll take you directly to NBC's Dateline. Again, the final score, the Pacers 101 and the Lakers 99 for Doug Collins, Jim Gray, and Ahmad Rashad. I'm Bob Costas. You've been watching the NBA on NBC, and you've been watching a beauty from the Forum in Los Angeles. We'll see you next Saturday and Sunday for more of the NBA on NBC. So long, everybody.